Hi. That question took me by surprise. I think I went grocery shopping. Okay, so I'm wearing this outfit from Spice of Lagos Adire latest collection. This is a capri set. Absolutely obsessed with it. My shoes are from Dakori. Accessories are from different places. My earrings are Shopkoi. Glasses, I think from Shein, and the beauty is from God. And this name just came about in uni days. I absolutely loved the name T-Spice from Davido's music because I love Davido. And because my name is Tolu and I liked T-Spice, people just started calling me T-Spice in uni, and it kind of just followed me till I got to my workspace, and it just became the most natural name when I started my business, Spice, back in 2016. So selling clothes in Lagos, being called T-Spice, I just merged the two and it became Spice of Lagos. The process migrating to a new country was not the easiest one. I basically left everything I knew, my job, my business. Yes, I put it on hold. My family and my friends packed my suitcases and came to a country where I had nothing. No friends, no family, no job waiting for me on the other side. So it was very daunting, but it was the most adventurous thing I've ever done, and I'll do it again in a heartbeat. Sorry, that question took me by surprise. My earliest memory creating things, yes, actually, this was in primary school, primary 6 to be precise. My mom would make us clothes and I wasn't the biggest fan. I had my own style already for as long as I could remember. And I remember us having a fun fair at school, and what she had bought for me to wear, I was not thrilled. So I took 2 t-shirts that I already had, cut them into bits, and created almost like a makeshift trouser for myself, and it looked so good. People kept asking me, where did you make this? How did you get this? And I was like, would you believe that this piece was made from 2 t-shirts? And so ever since then, I've just known that I had my personal style. I like to wear things differently, and the rest has been history. When I landed, I think I went grocery shopping. I went to get all my favorite snacks, some cupcakes, some orange juice, food to last me a month because I came with some money, no idea when I was going to get a job, and I said, you know what, at the end of the day, as long as I eat, everything will be fine. And that's what I did. I ate, and yes, everything was fine at the end. I see signs to know that this is bigger than me, and I remember very well. In fact, it was my friend who reminded me a few weeks ago. She was supporting me with the shoot back home because I wasn't on ground, and she was telling me how she's so proud of me, and she remembers one day when we sat hand in hand at church, and I said to her that I feel so strongly that God is telling me to start this business. And she was like, yes, go ahead, start, just do what you need to do. And I was telling her that I don't even remember having this conversation with her. And it just felt really clear to me that this was something that I was meant to do. And I don't feel any doubts whatsoever, because a lot of things are not coincidences. You launch a piece and you don't expect it to take off, and it takes off to the point where people from all over the world are asking you about it. It's not my doing. It's not anything that has to do with anything I've done. These things that are happening just show that I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in this space, and I'll keep doing the best that I can.
Now, what would you tell your younger self?
What would I tell my younger self? I'll tell my younger self, God, I beg. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. But we're going to do it regardless. We're going to try. We might take a break for a year or 2, but it's fine. You use that break to recalibrate. You use that break to make the right connections that will take your business to the next level. You won't do it yourself, so you need friends. You need people who have gone before you. You need people who have the experience. All of these things will happen as you grow. So take your time, breathe. Don't compare yourself to other people. Yes, you do that a lot. Calm down. Everybody's pace is different. It will work out for you. I never imagined I'll be here. High school, my best friend Dara, she already made plans to move to Canada as soon as we were done with secondary school, and I really wanted to come with her because I loved her so much and I couldn't believe that she was leaving me. So a part in my head, I always had Canada at the back of my head, that maybe one day you would move, but didn't dwell too much on it. I went ahead to University of Lagos, one of the best universities ever, because I totally enjoyed that school. Proceeded to work for some time, went back to Lagos Business School to do my master's in marketing. And at that point, I pretty much had everything I needed to make that move. And I said, you know what, why don't I revisit this conversation and take the step to try something different? I've lived in Lagos all my life. There's so much more. The world is so big. Let's go and explore. Let's fail and see what happens. You know, if it doesn't work, we'll come back home. Mom and dad are home, we'll come back, you know. And I'm glad I made that decision because it's been pretty good so far. I wouldn't say Canada is the easiest place to live, but the opportunities are there. And with God on your side, you can definitely make something work. So I think one of the reasons I was fortunate to get this job that I got was because I volunteered. So as soon as I got here, I didn't want to be idle because that's not me. I like to be very active. I like to do things, and I looked out for an opportunity to volunteer as a communications manager with an NGO, and just basically helping set them up on social media, with their content. All of those things became very relevant in the interview when I applied for this job, and it was one of the things that encouraged, or would I say, made the managers to actually be interested in what I'm doing and decide to hire me. So more of my ability to apply myself even in opportunities that don't necessarily pay me, I think that was fundamental to getting the job that I got. And I'd say it was then after getting the job that the other skills that I have pretty much helped me sustain the job. So experience with content creation, experience with writing, all of those things just came together and just giving me this wholesome, you know, experience and skills that I use on my day-to-day. I think that my experience is a combination of all the things that I know right now. And some of the things are not so great. Some of the things are bad. I have anxiety. I overthink a lot. And even before I dropped to Tanna Set, it took me 6 months before I eventually did. I had the pieces ready. I had done the shoot. I was looking at the pictures and I just felt I was not good enough. That's not a good thing. It just makes you pause when you're supposed to be going, you're supposed to be moving, but it also helps you look out for details, things that you might have missed. It gives you time to research, it gives you time to prepare. So I don't want to unlearn anything just yet. I think that those good and bad things come together to make me who I am and help me to do the best that I'm currently doing. So yeah, I've always been a very busy person. I just don't like being idle. I like to find the next opportunity to try my hands, do something new. I just can't sit in a place. And I think, yes, it's one of the reasons that contributed to starting Spice of Lagos in the first place. But the main reason is because when I was a child, my mother used to wear adire a lot. Like on weekends when she wouldn't go to work, at home, she would always wear adire boo-boos, and she had them in different colors and they were just so beautiful and so vibrant. I know how when we were kids, our moms were the most beautiful women we had ever seen. It just looked so good, and memories of that stuck with me and followed me till I grew up. And so I started working in 2016, 2017, and then when I got that job, I had a bit of change to be able to buy adire silk. So I bought some adire silk, went to my tailor, and I said, here are my sketches. Can you make me a few dresses so that I can just go to the beach, I can go to different places? And she made me about 3 or 4 of those dresses, and I wore them, posted them on Instagram, and people just kept asking, where are these dresses from? Where are these dresses from? I'm like, you know what? Give me money. I can make for you. And I started getting these requests every week. It became a whole thing, and someone said, you know what? Why not just create a separate page for this and make it into a thing? And I did that. I created a page, started to get orders, and it was more of a place your order and then you get your item kind of request. And so the process of introducing new styles would just be me making something for myself, and people like it and it becomes a part of the collection. So that's pretty much how we started, but we had to take a break when I was moving to Canada. Why? Because I didn't have hands on the ground. A lot of things just needed to be handled by myself, and because I wasn't there, just couldn't move. So we took a break for a year and 6 months. Someone sat me down and said, girl, you're sitting on a treasure. And if you even look at the name that we chose, in your eyes, like treasures on the body. Someone was like, you're sitting on a treasure. You need to let this thing out. You need to let people see this thing that you've created. Don't be afraid. What's the worst that will happen? People will not buy. And you start again. So many brands have done that and they succeeded. You literally have to fail before you can succeed. So that's why it took me that long. It took me 6 whole months. Overthinking, of wondering if I was good enough, of thinking about what the rollout would look like, what the launch would look like. So many things happened, and you know what? The day I decided to actually go ahead and post it, it just happened. Like I just didn't overthink it. I just sat down one day, put my tripod out and said, we're releasing a new collection today, get ready in 3 days. And we went ahead and we posted it, and that very day, we got several orders, and the rest honestly has been history. Throughout that year and 6 months, I was so anxious. I was always panicking. In my heart, it just felt like there was something that was unsettled within me. Something that, like, it felt like a gap that needed to be closed. I was working, yes, I was creating content, but there was just still that fundamental passion that absolutely just needed my attention. And I said, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make a way around this somehow, even though I'm all the way here. And so I prayed about it. I was like, instead of, sulking about it, just pray. And I remember a friend of mine, Didi, she also owns a clothing brand here in Canada, Owama Official. I just opened my Instagram one day and I see her story post saying, I feel led to support, female brand owners, female fashion brand owners with ideas about how they can scale, how they can grow. And I just reached out to her. Like, ordinarily I would just tap and go, but something just said, reach out to her. And I sent her a message. I said, I really want to learn more. Like, this is the situation. And she said, oh, you don't have to worry. I have everything you need. And that's how she sat me down through the process of being able to manage a fashion brand remotely from Canada, operating in Nigeria. And all of that experience, all of the resources, all of the vendors, she did not hesitate to share anything with me. And that is one thing I'll always be grateful for her for. And I really appreciate women who support women, because I would not have been able to launch this collection without her. Please let me think about it.
Okay.
Girl, what's going on? My most intentional purchase, I think, would be my wedding dress. I had a specific look I wanted. I wanted something very unique, different. I didn't want the usual at all. Even though it was a civil wedding, I wanted to go all out because I knew I was not going to have a white wedding. So I wanted the dress to look like both. It took a lot of research. I slept on several pages. I had to buy a lot of dresses, try on, take back. I walked into so many stores until I found the perfect dress from Solace London. And honestly, that dress was made for me. Like, I can't tell you the people who were in my DMs telling me, oh my God, this dress, oh my God, this dress. And I just feel very grateful for the fact that I took my time and I got exactly what I wanted. So that's the most intentional purchase that I can think about right now. It wasn't made to order. It came exactly like that, and it fit me that way. I was so lucky.
People have trust issues with buying from websites.
But knowing that you can return is a good thing. I'm excited about the prospect of actually growing Spice of Lagos into being a big brand. A brand that people know internationally. I have my own outlets. It's a household name that people actually can resonate with. It will be a great honor to take Nigerian fashion beyond the shores of the country to other places globally. And I'm building the foundation right now. I don't know what the future holds, but I could only hope that that's what it looks like for me.
You had